there's something that I've started talking about lately that we don't talk about enough, is that how actors sometimes audition for things that they don't want to do. So even when they get that chance, the material is not always what they're looking for. And so it's how important it is to create for yourself. And so that's how whenever I left the production house that I was working for, I decided, okay, let me take on the projects that I can put myself back in it, because really all I want to do is act. But, I'll produce if you give me $10 million, really.
Welcome to this episode of the Woodstock Film Festival's Let's Talk Film podcast. I'm your host, Katie Mejia. Today, we're joined by special guest actor Anthony Lalor and actress and filmmaker Djaka Souaré. Thanks for joining me today, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, thank you for having us.
You're so very welcome. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about your film. You guys were official selection in the 2023 Woodstock Film Festival, and your film's called Cut Me If You Can. We're going to show the trailer of it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So here we go.
This is your favorite movie theater? It's empty.
Well, hurry back.
Ow! Hey, you watching this trailer. Aren't you sick of these stereotyped characters? I am. My name is Michelle. And the bimbo you looking at?
That's me.
I am sick of this shit! But I am done.
It's not in the script. Fuck the script!
I am changing the script of this crappy horror movie.
Take my spot. Fuck you! Hey,
Asshole! Cut me if you can.
So that is like such a cool genre, and how you guys put this together, I'm dying to know. I'm sure audiences as well. So let's start with the idea of Cut Me If You Can, and how did it come about? And then maybe we'll get into the other film festivals that we were talking about before the podcast started. Either one of you guys can jump on that one.
I can take the lead. I like to do that. It's people tell me I like to do that. So I met the filmmakers first. Nicolas Polixen and Sylvain Loubet are both French and Martinique, as actually a French Caribbean. And so I met them in 2020. It was before the global pandemic. And we just kind of really hit it along. We got along really well. But I know that during COVID, they had the idea of like, okay, let's write something. Obviously, everybody's locked up in their homes. And one had the idea of, why don't we do the same to our favorite movie characters? Like, why don't we lock them inside a place? And the other one bounced back with, what about if we locked our least favorite movie characters? And so that's where the idea comes from. Original Mike and Michelle are somehow stereotyped. And so that's how we start the film. And then no spoilers, but there is a bit of a change and a break. But so that's how the original idea came. And so they wrote this proof of concept, which is a capsule of a feature film that we have. And so this one is 20 minutes. And yeah.
I ran into you at the festival as well, and you were saying how it was a proof of concept. And I was like, wow, okay. So my first question, and then Anthony can go into some of the other stuff that you talked about, like how you got the role, because it's very interesting to me, and just how you guys, as a French production company, coming together.
Yeah. No, basically, because the directors are French, but and I was born and raised in France. I haven't been there in a long time. Our DP is French and Algerian. It's 3 screenwriters and 2 directors. That's all. There is no French production. Like everything was shot. We shot in California. We have private investors that believes in us and believes in the project. I've been an actress all my life. I started as a classical theater actor, and then musical theater. When I moved to New York, I actually came here with Broadway Dance Center, who gave me a visa. I was still a dancer at the time, and I had an opportunity to start working in production. So I kind of quit acting for a minute because I thought that would empower me to have more control over the projects that I wanted to do. There's something that I've started talking about lately that we don't talk about enough, is that how actors sometimes audition for things that they don't want to do. So even when they get that chance, the material is not always what they're looking for. And so it's how important it is to create for yourself. And so that's how whenever I left the production house that I was working for, I decided, okay, let me take on the projects that I can put myself back in it, because really all I want to do is act. But, I'll produce if you give me $10 million, really. So that was not the case here, but we still made it happen. And, I needed a lead. And so that's when I called Anthony up, because we met when we were on stage with Classical Theater of Harlem, actually. Can't even remember which year. Do you remember, Anthony?
2016. 2016. Okay. I think we met out 2016. I still do stage, but stage is like one of the things that it connects to people. That time at Djaka, I think we did The Tempest is the show. I think we did.
Wow. With the late Ron Cephas Jones, who was
and it was awesome. I think that's the last time we probably went stage together, but we stayed in touch throughout that. And I think randomly in COVID, she was like, hey, I have an audition. And I was like, I'm not doing anything, so I'll definitely do this. I'll just absolutely. And I read the script and I was like, oh, this is everything I'm talking about when it comes to Black people in film and TV, things like that. And I kind of read it and I fell in love. I was like, oh, this concept alone, it got me. You got me involved. And but in my head, I was like, how are we gonna do this? We're in the middle of a lockdown. We're not, I don't think we're going anywhere right now. And she's like, no, we're gonna I'll give you this, just determination, like we're doing this. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, how this? Like, you're doing this. And I auditioned for it. I think it was 3 times, and I was like, yeah, you're in on this. You're in. I was like, great. Whenever you let me know, and I'm ready to go on this, just because of everything that the concept, the Black actors in this horror film. I'm all for seeing, actors like myself and Djaka in places where you wouldn't normally see us, in roles you wouldn't normally see us in, and that kind of, and a piece like this that spoke on that, and put us in these lead roles, and it was everything as an actor you want to be a part of. So from the moment I read that script, I was like, yeah, we got to get on board with this. So
when we started, we were still, everybody was it was still locked down. It was still and the filmmakers were not gonna come for rehearsal, so we really started working with them on Zoom. I developed the project with them and another producer, Alana De Freitas, and for quite a long time. And then we hit lots of hurdles along the way. And then, literally Anthony met them, rehearsed with them on Zoom, and then met them like 4 days before we started shooting.
4 days we started shooting, and it was like, hey, it was a surreal moment of meeting you. I was meeting imaginary people that I'd only met through a computer for probably, I would say, I met them maybe a year and a half before, like close to almost 2 years. I'd met them on Zoom. We talked all of it, and I'd never actually been in a room with them. And it was that real moment of like, hey, great to meet you guys. Now let's get to work. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was one of the strangest, funnest processes ever, because we all lived in a small little house together. So I had gone from meeting these guys on Zoom to now I'm living with them for the next 2 weeks, and we're gonna build this thing out together and work this out together. We're gonna, there's so many hours that you spend shooting, but you might not use all those outs, but it's that we spend that time together trying to build something, and it was such an interesting process. I'll probably never experience anything like that again, but
yeah, you could tell it's very unusual, like what you guys were doing. Just, I mean, and so much of it was in the editing post, because it's a movie inside of a movie. I mean, you guys were really challenged with the way that you had to shoot. I'd only imagine. But I know that your theater backgrounds must have obviously prepared you for so much. I mean, you know, that I don't think a normal kind of actor could probably hold it down in the way that you guys did, given the nature and sort of the obstacles.
Thank you. It's true that being theater actors, I think it prepares you to just like kind of hang on to each other like a family. And so that's what we did, like being in Airbnbs all together and just like shooting in one location, you know, like being from the morning.
And is the whole feature film in the one location? Like the whole
feature film is
it has to be, because you have to get out of the theater. That's like the whole point at the end. Yeah. You got to get out of the movie, but then you're still in it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Trying to get out.
And do you guys have like comedy backgrounds, like comedy writing? Because I mean, there was a lot of moments where it's like you had that comedy timing sort of type of thing, right? A little bit. I don't know. I mean, is that something you guys had to?
I mean, I love comedy.
But you kind of are funny though, in the sense of the way your timing is. So
I think the
way you come off.
I think
there's a point where I laughed really hard. Like, I think it was Djaka though. That was your part. Like, you're really funny, Molly. It was great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
she's amazing, and that's, I think when people watch it, they'll see like, you know, Djaka's character is this, you know, commanding. She's going to lead us out of. She's trying to get us out of this, and my character is more of this. Look, I'm okay with this, and we can, you know, look, we can be here, and we have to kind of laugh at our pain a little bit, you know what I mean? And especially as a Black actor, kind of like okay, like I guess this is fine. And it's kind of this. I try to portray that through Mike and like laugh at my pain a little bit. Like I just want to be in this film and be happy. You
just want to be happy. You don't want to. Yeah. And she's like, nah.
Yeah, and and that's what makes Djaka's character even funnier. Like,
yes.
He's just like, what are you talking about? And he's just like, but look, I'm here and I want to be, you know, and I think that kind of makes the film that comedy.
You're also kind of playing your own personality a little bit there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that always helps. Yeah.
And some of those spoilers, but once, you know, some other characters come out within these characters, I let myself protrude a little bit in there. But also I think that's part of Djaka as well. Me and Djaka known each other for so long that we can play off each other's, you know, little idiosyncrasies and little commentaries. They let me have so much freedom with the script at certain sections where I could, you know, say some words that weren't in the script.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. Because I mean, you have it in the film that you need to improvise your personal self, which is so cool. Yeah. But then you're talking about one of the people I had on this podcast recently, her entire film was also improv. And it's like, wow. I mean, so is that something how much of a role did that play? And is that something that is in the feature? And how is that in the script? Are those notes or something? I'm just curious.
I have to say that the filmmakers are just really brilliant and talented. The minute I met them, I knew I wanted to work with them because they had the same vision. And you know, you don't meet your theater family or your movie family every day on the street or at events or at film festival. You kind of know when you do. And it's not easy. It's really like meeting a significant other or choosing a therapist. But I have to say that the talent that they had writing the script, they are just so also secure with themselves. They have, you know, no problem removing their ego in any ways and just letting the actors, if the actor understands what they wanted to translate and say at this particular point, then use your words. And that's what they had. So it's a trio that wrote it, right? Sylvain, Nicolas, and Jean-Jérôme, and they just give you that freedom when Sylvain and Nicolas are directing you, that you know what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go in that scene. Just, you know, have fun. And Anthony is, the best at that. And because we have so much stage experience, like you improvise all the time. And so I have to say that, the cross genre is not always easy to nail. And they, as screenwriters, they have really nailed it for me because they have that vision of writing something, but then understanding visually where it needs to go. And so that's why we are a horror comedy, but we're also a thriller. And also thanks to my relationship with Anthony, who's a wonderful actor, and I could bounce off of him, and him in front of that imposing character that is Michelle, we have made it, I feel, a buddy comedy. It doesn't work without each other.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a buddy comedy. And it's cool because buddy comedies are either like two white guys or whatever. So like that in itself is its own genre. Like the woman and the man being a buddy, number one, never see, especially and then two people of color. It's like, okay, not seen. Right. So, you guys are gonna definitely. So give me the heads up on, the process of trying to get this made as a feature. Where are you guys at on that, and how does that work? Is that just this ongoing process?
It is an ongoing process. And the wonderful thing about it, number one thing about it, is the audience. The audience and our very particular audience, or the big audience, they will be the ones to take us there. So we're talking to production companies, we're talking to distributors, and we're just trying to get the money to make it. It's ready. It's still ready. And also shooting the short has, informed us of so many things. So that's wonderful because I produced it as well, as I mentioned it earlier. But as an actor, I've seen it, like just go to so many places. So it's going really well on the festival circuit right now. And we're so happy. We opened at Woodstock, and that was wonderful. That was back in October.
That was a premiere. Oh,
that was
great.
A premiere. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. And then we went to SCAD. SCAD was like amazing. We went to so many. We went to International Black Festival in Toronto, in Nashville. We went to Clermont-Ferrand, which is really like number one in the world for shorts. We had an amazing experience. Anthony came. We all went to France.
To France for that one.
Very cool.
Yes. Yeah, very cool. And then this week we're at the Moscow International Film Festival. So we're screening there. This is a Category A festival. We're so proud to be there. We're also in Brazil at Fantaspoa, which is a wonderful thriller, horror, sci-fi type of festival. We just
get to go to Brazil, because who's not gonna? Who wouldn't want to go to Brazil?
I want to go.
But what happened with Moscow? Because before we talked, can you tell us about you?
Yeah, we really wanted to go as well, but the culture of Russia is just so rich. Unfortunately, right now with the political climate, with the declaration of the French president, I have a French passport, an American passport. We just felt that it was a bit complicated, and the embassies and all of that, it's just not recommended. So hopefully, we get to.
The embassies don't recommend it for danger. That's ridiculous. Okay,
yeah, it's on the list. I know, Katie.
Okay, anyway, but yeah, that's crazy because
we hope that the people over there will enjoy it, and we're so proud, and we're so happy that they recognize the quality of the film, and that's just amazing. It's
unfortunate. It's unfortunate because that would be so important, for you to be there. Just the overall division that's in my opinion completely orchestrated, the division of our worlds. By so many different things. It's unfortunate that you couldn't be there. It's just bridging a gap. How could there possibly be anything other than something positive coming from that? But at least they're going to see.
Yeah,
I guess, right?
On the film festival website,
because Brazil, their government, they are completely going against their government. They had a massive protest that you'll not see anywhere on mainstream media, because the corruption in Brazil is unbelievable. But the people have come together. But boy, you don't see that on CNN. You don't want to see that. So it's so funny because it's kind of, I would say maybe that would be dangerous. If you're saying danger, right? And it's just anyway.
Yeah.
But wow.
No, complicated, that's for
Yep.
sure. But we had screen everywhere. We just came back from Guadeloupe, which is a French Caribbean island, and that was such a success as well. We just won jury prize in Paris in the Dark Film Festival last week.
Congratulations.
That's our third jury prize, so we're really happy.
What were the other ones that you got?
We got one at San Francisco, another Hole in the Head. We were staff choice, best short film. And then we won at Brown Sugar Days in Paris at Le Grand Rex. We screened. That's the biggest screening room in Europe. That was unbelievable, 2,300 people. So so the only place that we haven't screened is in Africa, which we really hope that we will screen very soon. So now it's been a success everywhere in US, Europe. We'll find out about Brazil, Russia, the Caribbean. So that's what is really exciting with this, is that we're tapping into everybody, because everybody can relate to how it feels to have type of shackles, to be stereotypes, to be judged for their looks, sexualized, racialized, everything. So it's really super interesting, and we're so happy about the festival circuit route right now.
Yeah, I mean, technically the world's a stage and we're all trapped in our own movies, I mean, there's so many layers and meta things with your film. It's really great. I can't wait to see like a longer form of it. So I know it's going to happen. Yeah. What is the festival in Africa that, for folks that want to know where they would want to submit their films? Which ones did you submit to, or what are the ones that are on your radar?
I've submitted to the one in Dakar Court. That's in Senegal. That's a great one. Wonderful team of people. I would also highly recommend the biggest one in Africa, which is FESPACO. It happens twice every 2 years in Ouagadougou, in Burkina Faso. That's wonderful. So we just submitted to that one because it's happening next year, so next February. That would be a wonderful experience. And those are the main ones that I would recommend and know of. I'm sure there are plenty of others. We are also 20 minutes. So sometimes we can't submit to 15 minutes, like Cannes Film Festival. We couldn't submit because we were over 15 minutes. We're also very genre. So there are some comedy ones that we couldn't even submit to because they're horror comedy. So it's just kind of doing the work from Freeways, and a wonderful platform that we use. And also there's some other ones and European ones. And for the Africans, they're not on those platforms. So you kind of have to go.
It's great to know.
Make sure that you do the work, because that's important. People could relate to your film everywhere. We have to stop thinking that, we make Black films from Black people. We can do everything. We can do that, but we can do all the rest as well.
That's great. A lot of people, probably would really enjoy like a link of, or a recommendation of those film festivals that aren't on Film Freeway. So maybe I'll reach out to you for that, just so that we can
100%.
promote and just help filmmakers, because, a lot of the film festival, it's a strategy. It's tremendous amount of work. Obviously, you do so much work to get everything they need for the festivals and which ones to, and then of course raising the funds for the fees and getting waivers and all that stuff. So you're doing a great job. And you guys are such a awesome team. I can tell that you're going to do other films together. This is just the first one.
What I've really something that I've really been like I've set in my mind to is the waivers that I get and the relationships that I start. I nourish those, because then I reach out again to the programmers the minute I hear that one of my friends who has a wonderful film needs a waiver or has something that he's going to start a festival circuit route. I'm like, I have those connections. Let me hook you up. And I think that should be normal. And every filmmaker should be doing that for their friend filmmakers. And the programmers should understand that, yes, I'm going to reach out not only for myself, I'm going to reach out for my community, because they're the ones who support me when I need them. And that just can't go in one direction only.
Yeah. And I should give a shout out, because I did have someone, the last film festival I was at with one of my films, the last day, she said, hey, look, your film would be really great for this particular festival. Here's the waiver, and there's not many films about this, my film, and people of color in the film. Like there's just not. So she knew that, she could make a difference by getting it, because it's so hard. I mean, it's really difficult to know which ones and how to foster those connections. So it's great to see that you're supporting other filmmakers in that way.
Absolutely. And actually, we just submitted to Nova Frontier Film Festival. My friend Lydia Darley is at the head of that one. And that's a great film festival in New York in the summer. And they play at the Billie Holiday Theater in Brooklyn. It's so beautiful.
What? Okay, I didn't even know
hope
that.
to be part of it. And I would encourage filmmakers to submit to her.
Okay, great. Well, there's a lot of good information in this podcast. It's sad to say goodbye to you guys and would love to talk more, but on the way out, can you guys just tell us where folks can find you and how to connect with you guys further? And Anthony, I'll give you the floor for that one.
Yourself, my name is Anthony Lalor. You can reach out to me at anthonylalor@gmail.com or Anthony F. Lalor on Instagram. I'm based out of New York City. I do theater with Classical Theater of Harlem as well. So one of those three things, you can always reach out to me and hear from me or see what I'm up to next.
Sweet. Thank you, Djaka.
Yes. So I think, socials are the best. So Djaka Souaré 1, that would be my Instagram handle. And also especially Cut Me If You Can movie. If people want to follow us and follow our adventures, we're always posting. And the great thing about it is that, people now have a voice through social media. And actually, that's a talk that I have when I walk into production houses or distributors. They're like, do you have your audience? And I can show them, yes, I do. And that's the number of people that follow us, like us, repost us, share, just creating a community. I feel that your community will be the one to just lift you up and push you through. And so that's where you can reach out to us to follow our adventures.
That's great. And same with, obviously, Woodstock Film Festival. This podcast is on Spotify. So please subscribe on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. Most folks listen to the audio. Obviously, we're on YouTube here. So subscribe and just share. And it was great to premiere your film and great talking to you guys. And thanks again. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you, Woodstock.
I appreciate you.